Last week in my workshop, I talked all about setting boundaries, and I want to share with you a little excerpt from that today. So, what I talked about was one of the things that you want to do with setting boundaries is actually communicating them. Quite often, what I see is that we know what boundaries we want to set in our minds, but we actually don't communicate them. You need to take the next step of actually communicating them and continuing to reinforce those boundaries. So, one of the barriers that I see is that women will say things like, I'm worried about setting this boundary because I don't know how I will then be perceived by my boss. Or what is it going to do to my career if I set this boundary? Will they think that I'm not interested in my career anymore? Will they think that I'm not interested in progressing? Now, what I would say to that is that you never know what someone's perception or reaction is going to be, and actually the most important thing is that you are preserving your energy and you are maintaining your self-worth and boosting your self-worth by setting your own boundaries. So I shared a story with one of my clients who I worked with last year, and she had a situation where one of her senior partners in her management consulting firm continued to call her while she was giving her son dinner or putting her son into the bath. On one particular occasion, while she was bathing her son, the senior partner said to her, "Oh, gosh, this is a bit unusual for you to, I can hear all this background noise." And she said, "Well, it's actually not unusual. I'm a working mother and I can't shift around my son's routine. He's only young. What do you want me to do here?" And we had a conversation afterwards because she felt quite stumped as to how to manage the ongoing interruptions that were happening in her evening. Now, she is incredibly dedicated to her job. She's dedicated to her family. She wants to have both a family and a career. So what we did is we developed a key message or some key messages for her where she felt comfortable in being able to say to this senior partner, "Look, I can't speak to you between the hours of 5:30 and 7:30 because that's my family time. I work really hard. I work long hours. I work weekends when you need me to. I'm incredibly dedicated to my job, especially when I am in the office and when I am at work. And so I can't be contacted within those times. But I am available at 7:30 if you would like to talk to me then." The interesting thing was that 7:30 came around and he didn't call. She asked him why. I thought there was, this really important issue that we needed to talk about. And he said, "Oh, but the thing is 7:30 is the time that I sit down with my family and my teenage children, and that's the time that we have dinner. And my partner wants me to sit down and for all of us to have dinner together." So that was a situation where she had set a boundary, and actually these urgent issues, which possibly could have been urgent, she's working with a lot of really demanding clients in her role, but what she found was that she set the boundary and they were actually able to have a conversation in the morning. It didn't need to happen in the evenings. And actually it could wait. And it's because he was wrapping up his day at 6:30, but she wasn't. She was doing something different. So I think this is a really great example of when you actually set boundaries, you are protecting and preserving your energy and your time and the things that give you energy and fill up your cup so that you can then give your best at work. And she was also really lucky it was great that he respected her boundaries. And they were also able to have a really open discussion around, well, what do our evenings look like? Do we need to be communicating at this time? And can it actually wait until the following day when we're both back at work on work time? I hope you have enjoyed that. And if you would like any help around setting boundaries, including communicating them and developing a set of key messages that helps you to feel comfortable and authentic, then get in touch with me for a free taster session. There's a link within the email. Thank you.